Just to set some expectations for this, I'm going to try and be as informative as possible and give you some of my most valuable insights. This is not going to be nitty gritty kind of technical stuff. I'm not going to tell you you need to do this amount of reps, this amount of sets. We will go through exercise and things, but this is more insights I've gained through bodybuilding for the last 2 or 3 years. So I want to start with a quote from Socrates: "No man has the right to be an amateur in a matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." And that's so true because our bodies are beautiful and capable of being very strong vehicles that carry us through life. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? Doesn't really matter who I am, to be fair. I'm just some guy on the internet as far as you're concerned. My name is Taylor. What I've done is gone from what you see on the left here, a bit chubby, sort of a little bit of man boobies going on there, a little bit of love handles, and over the course of about 2.5 years, I have built a body that I'm fairly proud of. And it's all from following a pretty simple routine, simple principles, and I want to share what I've learned, and hopefully I can. If you're here, if you're on the left, I wasn't feeling very confident about my body. Carrying a lot of extra fat, not much muscle mass, not very capable body. Would have struggled to do pull-ups, would have struggled to do push-ups. Um, and this RO represents consistent hard work for the last 2 years, and this is where I'm at now. This is pictures I took maybe last week, um, and yeah. So let me share what I've learned. So the first question is why? Why would you want to go from slightly podgy little teen there to jacked young man? Well, there's plenty of health benefits, more than I could even care to cover. Um, just just trust me when I say it's just infinitely better to be the guy on the right than it is the guy on the left, and I've been both, so I know. Three main ones: confidence, or three main ones if you're a young guy: confidence, respect from peers, and increased SMV, which is sexual market value. So you're going to feel better in yourself. Other people are going to think probably a bit more in you, guys your age and your peers, and you're going to get more attention from ladies, and that's nice. I don't think there's anything that I've done over the last maybe 5 years that increased my mate value than building my shoulders, building my chest, looking good with my top off. So an impressive physique will be the foundation to an impressive life. If you can build your body, you can build anything, I think, because it's through a process of applying principles consistently over time that you're going to get the desired result, which looking jack, and that can be applied in business, that can be applied in study, that can be applied to relationships. You set a goal, you understand how to get to that goal, and then you apply yourself, and you do that consistently over time. And it's a really simple concept. And the beautiful thing about bodybuilding is you see it in the mirror. Now, business, you see it in your bank account, but I don't think there's anything there's nothing more foundational than training your body. So how are you gonna do it? How did I do it? So essentially it's routine, principles, and progress or goals. So allocating time from your schedule, dedicate to the gym. Simple enough. You need to put the time in. If you want to, you know, if you want to read 10 books, reading 10 books consists of sitting down with a book in your hand and actually reading the pages. I know, crazy, right? Principles. You need to understand the rules of the game. So in a couple of slides, I'm going to take you through the kind of 80-20 of principles of weight training and bodybuilding and goals and progress. So it's really good to understand how to track your progress over time and how to know that you're leveling up. And I'll tell you a few ways to do that. So routine. So this is routine. This is what routine looks like. This is what I done for the better part of about a year and a half. Was in the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in the gym and I don't do anything else. And this is what a lot of guys will struggle with: sacrifice. This means sacrifice. This means when some of your mates are at the bar on a Friday night, you're in the gym. Now, there's nothing stopping you going to the bar after the gym. But it means that you will have to, when you're in the gym and you're training, that's time spent. You're not doing other things that you might want to be doing, such as spending time with friends or family or girlfriends, or you know, playing video games, or going out for meals or whatever it may be. But this is what it looks like. It's not. It's guys get ripped and they think like, oh, they see guys that are ripped and they think like, oh, he's so lucky or good genetics, or I wonder what his training program is. The bottom line is that guy's been in the gym probably 4 or 5 times a week for the last 5 years, and that's the routine he's adopted, and that is, you can't go anywhere if you don't have that foundation of, okay, this is the time that I'm there, and this is what we do in those days, right? Principles. So this is as simple as I can make it. This is me boiling down strength training and bodybuilding to three sentences: pick a movement, select a weight that you can lift, that you can do that movement with, and rep the movement until failure, or until your muscles can't do it anymore. And that's really it. And that is the first principle of weightlifting is picking your movement, selecting the weight, and doing it. Simple enough, right? So compound exercises and isolation exercises. So compound exercises forge the steel, and the isolation sharpen the blade. So what that means is, if your body is a big lump of metal and you want to turn it into a beautiful sword, you have to forge the steel. So a blacksmith will put the steel in the heat and he bangs away and bangs away and bangs away, and that takes a sort of amorphic block and turns it into something resembling a sword. So that's the key. So compound exercises incorporate usually many muscles, and it's usually one major muscle group, but it's incorporating many muscles. So for example, like bench press, you can hit your triceps on a bench doing bench press. You're also hitting your pecs. You're also, using stabilizing muscles at the shoulder blade, the rotator cuff. You're bracing the core. It's a heavy movement. Same with deadlifts. There's a lot of things happening there. There's a lot of muscles that are working together to make that compound movement happen. Isolation exercises are when we have something resembling a sword, but then we start sharpening, and we start honing in, and we start defining. So you're really good at bench press, and you force the sit a bit, and you're starting to get a bit of mass around there. You think, okay, I want to hone in, so maybe switch to a more isolating exercise for the chest, such as flies or something like that, which is going to sharpen the blade. So simple enough. I think that's an easily understood concept. The two on the side here, so KISS and the noob tube. Okay, so KISS. This is always stuck in my mind from a maths teacher that I had in secondary school, and it stands for keep it simple, stupid. So unless you are insanely interested in exercise science and being the nerdy bodybuilder, you don't need to go and read this study and this study and, oh, what about the 2% difference in muscle activation of this exercise versus this exercise. Just keep it simple, keep it basic. The principle is pick movements like do it. We don't need to be getting into um, this versus that, or slight kind of variations in things that only have like a p-value is the statistical significance of the result of a study. Very low p-value, and yet you're like parsing through all these papers, and really at the end of it, it's margins. It's marginal difference. What's the noob tube? So if you play Call of Duty, which I played a lot of Call of Duty growing up, you will remember. I think maybe, I don't know, one of the Modern Warfare or something. Noob tube, um, scummy as fuck to use. Well, yeah, it's fair to say, like, scummy as fuck to use, but that doesn't really relate to how I'm saying it. But basically, it doesn't take much effort to use the noob tube, but you're gonna get some kills with that shit. So it's an effective strategy that doesn't require you to like practice 2 hours dialing in your fucking quick scopes to be able to snipe guys, one shot kills. You just click, boom, explodes, easy, job done. That's what we want. We want the most effective technique with like the least amount of training required to use. Okay. So this is probably the most important principle, which is progressive overload, and really applies across everything. But of course, we're talking about bodybuilding. But okay, so it's making things harder over time. So have you ever played like RPG games, role playing games, like for example Skyrim or Fallout, things like that? You you start in your little area, and you're level 1, and every enemy around you is level 1, and you start to level up, and you hit level 10. But you would get such little return from continuing to farm the level 1 enemies for their experience, that there has to be a system in which um, enemies get stronger as you also get stronger. So it means as you level up, it has to get harder. Because if you max out, you max out weight, say your bench press or whatever it may be, and you're using 10 kilo dumbbells, really lightweight. And maybe it's hard for you to start, and your form's not great, but over time you get better at that. You Nothing will be happening if you continue to rep the 10 kilos it needs to go up. But there's many ways that can happen. Weight is just one example. There's reps, sets, weight, intensity. So um, rate of perceived exertion is a measurement where it's a little bit subjective, but you can tell how hard it was. And there's many ways to do that. Slowing down the eccentric squeeze, really really powerful contractions, and that's a way that you can progress and make your workouts harder. Rest time, decreasing the rest time. Time under tension is kind of the same as intensity, but not really, because I did mention like concentric, eccentric, which is the shortening and lengthening phases of the movement. So time under tension is the amount of time that the muscle is actually exposed to the stimuli. So, what you can do is you do a rep of a bench, and then maybe you hold it there for 2 seconds. That's increasing the time under tension. Slow, 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 slow. Holding it maybe halfway. That's all increasing the time under tension and variation. So, um, it's basically progressing the exercise, but it remains the same exercise, but it's harder variation. So, most simple examples is a push up. You have your kneeling push up, which is you're taking a significant amount of body weight off your arms and your shoulders and your chest there, which is easier. You then come up into your plank push up, your regular push up. You can then do things where you can elevate your feet. That makes it harder. That's a bit more weight through the shoulders. Pike push ups, things like that. So you have the push up, but then you also have regressions of that and progressions of that. So it's a really important concept to understand. We want to make things harder as we get better at them, and that's how we continue to progress. So you have your main goal, which is, my main goal was I want to look good. Okay, I want to have that aesthetic look, the broad shoulders, the sort of the big chest, the defined abs, the V taper, the nice 3D delts, and like shredded back. That's basically all I was aiming for. But the beauty of it is all these little side missions start to pop up. So as I started to learn more about weightlifting, I started to accrue little challenges like, oh, okay, so I'm able to do this weight quite comfortably. Let's aim for this. I want to add 10 kilos onto my bench press. I want to comfortably squat this, or whatever it may be. That is all feeding the real mission that I always had in mind, which was going for the look. Now, well, disclaimer that it's not a great main goal to have. To be honest, it's a bit airy fairy. You can tell you look good, but really, if you have a good kind of self image and your mental health is not in the toilet, you will sort of always feel good when you look in the mirror and you've been training. Like I remember posing in the mirror. I was maybe like 2 3 months into bodybuilding, and I was thinking, wow, I look jacked as fuck. Now I would, if I see myself like in the mirror like that, I would smirk myself a little bit because I would mug the fuck out of my former self. But then it felt good to have a little bit of muscle showing. But it's not as trackable. But if you're a beginner like this, that's a fine goal to have, and that's a great motivation to get into the gym. So I just want to give you an opportunity to pause this video, even go through, rewind 5 10 minutes there, and just go through that again, and just take some time to think, is this something I really want to do? Now, as I say, you're committing hours, you're committing some of your brain power, you're possibly making sacrifices, and if you really don't care about strength training, then it's not for you, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Maybe like maybe you have your own thing. Maybe you're into music. Maybe you're into this and that. Like a dream. I've been into music for my whole life, and I would say a dream of mine is to perform live music and create live music. But when I actually reflect, do I want it enough? It's kind of like a pop dream. If I wanted it enough, I would understand that I need a routine. So I need to put time into playing my guitar and singing and all the rest of it. I would need to understand the principles. I haven't really taken the time to study any kind of music theory, or put my brain power into understanding how music is created or how you become a good musician. So I encourage you to reflect and visualize. So great, you're still here. So you think, yeah, I understand, Taylor. I want to go ahead with this. So this is the game plan. Upper lower split. Now you've heard about splits all over the internet. So there's the gym bro split, kind of back or chest, tries, back buys, legs, shoulders, arms. 5 day splits. There's upper lower legs, or sorry, push pull legs. What I opted for the first year was simply upper lower split, and this, in my opinion, is the most bang for buck for the 0 to 9 months, even pushing into maybe the first year, 12 months, maybe 16 months. Because it follows the principles of the KISS, keep it simple, stupid, where we're not overcomplicating it. It's basically cut your body in half, work from the waist up and the waist down, and it allows us to just get really comfortable with the core compound exercises, or the noob tubes, and it just stops you getting in the weeds with it, like um, you know, separating shoulders and arms and chest. For someone who hasn't been in the gym and they haven't really built that foundation, you're really just overcomplicating it by adding in all this different variety at the start. Best way to do it is simple: upper body, lower body. So in a couple of slides, I will show you the actual upper body, or the upper lower split that I did use, and the exercise that I used. Form is king. So for the first while, you will not be, and I wasn't, like really pumping reps out. I spent a lot of time getting comfortable with these movements and really taking my time. So this will take a little bit of diligence to go out and seek form tips and little cues and things like that, because if you get it right from the jump, that means sacrificing the weight to start with. So starting really light and getting really comfortable with the form, you could end up miles ahead of people who have been training twice as long as you, just simply because they have been doing it. They've been doing the movements and the exercises inefficiently for twice as long as you have. So I mean, I know for a fact there's guys that have been training longer in the gym than I, way longer in the gym, and I've made significantly more gains in certain areas simply because I took the time to really get comfortable with the form, and kind of increase what we call the mind muscle connection, where I know what I should be feeling and how I know that I'm doing the exercise right and I'm hitting what I want to be hitting. And for the pump, so the gold standard for me for a good workout was, can I feel the swell in my muscles? Can I feel that lactate? A lot of my muscles, where they're starting to even struggle to move. I'm losing a little bit of range of motion, but the muscles are pumped as fuck. There's a bit of vascularity, and hype yourself up in the mirror, man. As I said, I was 3 months in, and I would do a little workout, and then I would come into the change rooms of the gym, and I would pose in the mirror. And even though I wasn't exactly jacked, I could see the changes happening. I could see the shoulders starting to build, the arms starting to build, and I was loving it. And that brought me back every time. There was times I was sitting on that bench and I was thinking, oh, can't really be bothered doing another set here. But then I thought, like, but how, like, that's gonna improve the look when you take off your top. So yeah, hype yourself up, man. No one's gonna do it for you. So enjoy the pump and enjoy seeing your body jacked up after a workout. It's a great feeling. So this is the upper body workout that I did for months and months and months, and 4 exercises. Basically follows the principle of horizontal push, horizontal pull, vertical push, vertical pull. So horizontal push, incline dumbbell bench press. Not much to say about it. I would encourage you to go seek out some form tips and things like that. We say 30-degree angle. That this is debated. Basically, you want to be hitting for the aesthetic look, you want to be hitting this upper chest, the upper pec fibers. That's going to pull your chest up and give you the start of that sort of V. Okay, the likes of like flat bench press is fine, but incline dumbbell is just better for if you're training for aesthetics. It's just better. There's a certain injury risk associated with flat bench, and it's just not as targeted to the upper pecs, which is what we want to be hitting. That 30-degree angle. So I think if you come up into 45-degree angle, you're probably hitting more of the front delts. 15 degree, maybe going lower pec fibers and triceps. So yeah, incline dumbbell bench. So for all these, sorry, I should have prefaced sets and reps. As I said, I'm not going to get into sets and reps. Like the classic is, 3 or 4 sets of 8 to 12, in which you should be hitting failure within, two, or you should be finishing at failure, or 2 sets or 2 reps away from failure. But like it's basically understood now that you can build muscle with essentially any weight, essentially any like set and rep prescription between about 5 reps and about 20 reps. So yeah, aim for the middle. What I done was 8 to 12. Maybe the 3 or 4 sets of dumbbell press looked like 12, 12, 10, 8, and by that 8th rep on the 4th set, I'm pushing, 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 and I can feel the fibers really pulling. Okay, so and that just goes for all these exercises. So I'm not going. I had incline dumbbell 3 times 12, chest row 3 times 12, 3 times 12. It just gets repetitive, man. And it's better to understand that you can build muscle with basically any of these ranges. It really doesn't matter. Okay, chest supported row. So that is our horizontal pull. Why we do the chest supported row and not the bent over row is basically because of axial fatigue or like lower back involvement. So you'll find when we talk about military press or overhead press, there's a lot of stabilization happening at the trunk, and you're asking a lot of your like your QLs, your lower back to stabilize there. So the rationale is take the lower back out of it so we can focus on the lats, rhomboids, traps in that horizontal plane. Because what you'll find is you may be doing overhead, or sorry, bent over row, and you're feeling more in your hamstrings. You're struggling to stabilize. So we want to keep it. We want to eliminate those potential limit fighters and make sure to brace. So um, if you're not aware of what this looks like, you basically it's essentially you do the dumbbells, and then you just keep the bench at 30 degrees, and you just turn around and you just land the bench and you just row. Grab the dumbbells, pull your elbows, try and put your elbows in your pocket is basically the form tip I subscribe to. So it's really important to brace. Squeeze your core. Don't allow your body, your spine to sort of flex and kyphos over the bar, or sorry, over the bench. Erect your spine to brace your core so that you're working in that plane of horizontal pull. Okay, overhead press slash military press. So slight difference. Military press is basically when you put your feet together and squeeze your arse, and it's harder. Overhead press, feet shoulder width apart. You can't do that all tandem standing. Honestly, it doesn't make much of a difference. Military press is harder. But that's more to do with what we talked about with chest squat row, is the stabilizing kind of mechanisms, your legs, your glutes, your core, and your lower back. You will feel weak when you do these, okay? Overhead press is not an easy exercise to load weight on, particularly if you're starting from a point that you can't move much weight. For a long time when I was doing overhead presses, it was literally just a bar, a 20 kilo bar, and 68 reps. That was hard. Now I've been in the gym 2 years. I've consistently done these overhead pressing exercises, and only now am I able to complete 68 reps of a bar and a template on each side. And yeah, you will feel weak when you're doing that, because you're not. It doesn't look like you're putting a lot of weight on the bar, but the biomechanics of an overhead press is you need to have really strong shoulders. You need to have the strong pushing mechanism. But by virtue of that, you will feel weak. But it means that this exercise is asking a lot, and as a byproduct of that, you're going to gain significant strength. You could opt for a seated dumbbell press, sort of the same thing. But I like adding this in, or I enjoyed overhead pressing a lot because of that aspect of the core stabilization. I say you feel weak because you can't load it up much, but once you start getting good at these, you feel strong as fuck. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so that's our vertical press. So we had our horizontal press, horizontal pull, vertical press. Now the vertical pull. Lat pull downs. Okay, so you've probably seen a lat pull down. It's a very common sort of tropey bodybuilder exercise. Essentially, it is a regression of a pull up. Like, ideally, you want to be doing pull ups, okay? But I know that's not realistic. I couldn't do pull ups when I first started in the gym. I could maybe do like 2 supinated grip pull ups, and that was a struggle. And even at that, I was coming down to maybe here and counting that as a rep. So lat pull downs are really great exercise. Play a bit with the grips. There's a lot of attachments. There's closed grip. Closed grip will probably be a bit easier for you to start. You want to start working out the way, basically, and the kind of wider you get, the harder it's going to be. So I would play about with kind of mid grip, where I'm feeling nice squeeze, leaning back slightly, feeling a good squeeze my lats, and then going nice and wide. And you will find that you have to lower the weight when you go a bit wider to hit those lats, and record yourself. So whenever I talked about the form and how I have gains in areas other people have been training for a lot longer than me, this is really one of them. Lat pull down, very common exercise done wrong, and not particularly done wrong, because you're still going to be hitting the pulling mechanisms. However, to really target the lats and get the most out of it, there is little subtle kind of form checks, and it's really important to pick up on that as soon as possible and record. I say record yourself because it will become quite obvious if you watch a video of a perfect form of a lat pull down and then you record yourself, and it will become quite obvious what you're not doing correctly. A little nugget of little golden nugget that I was told was so the problem a lot of people have is they're basically bicep curling the bar, so they're really squeezing at their arms and really engaging their biceps, which is we don't want to do that. We want to essentially use our arms as hooks, and so the lat inserts at the tubercle of your humerus, so it's responsible for abducting that arm or adducting that arm. Sorry. So you want to basically the elbow shouldn't really be involved. The mechanism is happening at the shoulder between the humerus and the lat. So you want to use your arms as hooks, and your elbows shouldn't really move that much. And you want to really you will when you're hitting it correctly, it will feel different. You will know you're hitting it. And then finally, a bicep and tricep superset. So this is where you can have a lot of fun with it. Okay, what I've done for a long time. Some people probably crack up about this. I used to do barbell 21s. And there, I don't know. There's arguments whether it's good exercise or not. I thought it was good exercise. I enjoyed them. If you don't know, 21s are, it's basically 7 half reps at the bottom of a bicep curl, 7 half reps at the top, and then 7 full reps. And let me tell you, 3 sets of that, the flexors of your forearm are going to be fucking burning. Let me tell you. Um, I honestly, you might not even fit it in your biceps. Maybe that's why people say it's a shitty exercise because yeah, you do really fit it. And that like brachialis insertion there, or these forearm flexors. All their alternatives are biceps, hammer curls, seated incline bench, bicep curls, plethora, cable curls, whatever. And you're supersetting that with triceps. So what that means is biceps, finish straight in the triceps. And I like to up the weight on these. Apologies for that, boys. I just had to start going on some little dog barking out the window. Where were we? Yeah, so superset. So you do your biceps, you finish, and then you pump your triceps. And you can do that because biceps triceps are what we call a antagonistic pair, where fatiguing the biceps will not fatigue the triceps, essentially. Okay, and triceps again, tricep pull downs, overhead extensions, even dips, quite good. Involves the shoulder, so maybe not ideal, but yeah, add variety and have fun with this. This is where you can really find what works for you, and you will see people in the gym doing some kind of weird and wacky exercises to hit their arms, but essentially bicep is forearm flexion, that's the bicep. Forearm extension, that's the tricep. Okay, so as long as the exercise you choose either flexes the forearm or extends the forearm, you're going to be hitting your biceps and triceps. Okay, lowers. Now, it's a cliche to be like, don't skip leg day, bro. Let me tell you, I skipped leg day for months and months, and I made progress in the gym. I didn't look like a buffalo attached to a fucking chicken leg. You know what I mean? I will admit, I played rugby for a lot of my life. Played football past that. So by virtue of playing sport, I was training my legs quite a lot. We would do strength and conditioning, training, lunges, things like that. So it wasn't like I wasn't training my legs. I would do a fair bit of running. I would do a fair bit of strength conditioning. But like, I mean, there was times like honestly, if you went to the gym 3 times a week, and or sorry, twice, if you went to the gym twice a week, say Monday or Tuesday, Friday, or Monday, Thursday, and you've done this every time for 2 months, I respect that. I've probably done that for long. I've probably done that for 6 months. I don't know. Um, that really got me where I wanted to go in terms of the physique and the aesthetic. But I do encourage you to hit legs because you don't. I played sports, so I was hitting my legs. You don't want to be the guy with huge fucking forearms and shoulders and toothpicks carrying them. Okay, so squats, pretty fundamental movement. Again, one of those compound movements. Barbell or goblet. So it's very very important to get comfortable with your squats. Okay, so your first 3 lower sessions could be that you go into the gym and you spend 40 minutes trying to do 1 set of squats with a barbell with no weight loaded on it because that is how important it is to get your squat technique right. There is a lot of factors go into a squat. Namely pelvic tilt, which is essentially how your pelvis sits, and you can develop control of that through core exercises. Ankle mobility will be a significant limiting factor for a lot of you guys. How you can counteract that is, and I still do this, slight elevation of the heels when you're barbell squatting. So you might even want to, if that sounds really boring and you're like, I don't really give a fuck if my barbell squat is good or not, that's fair. Opt for a goblet squat then. So a goblet squat is essentially holding a dumbbell or a kettlebell in front of you. That's quite nice because it offsets a little bit of the weight going forward. So you'll find you'll actually be able to get deeper into your squat. And that takes a bit of the ankle mobility problem out of the equation. Leg press. This should suck in the best way possible. What do I mean by that? You will sweat. You should really feel a leg press. Okay, it should feel hard. You'll even if you're fairly new, you'll be able to stick a couple of plates on the leg press and rep them out. What I would say, there is variation in leg press machines. If you're unsure and you don't want to get crushed under a leg press machine, I encourage you to chat to someone nearby or a gym attendant or whatever. Get someone to show you if you've never done leg press before. At least watch someone do it or have someone supervise you for the first set because it's it's a little bit intimidating and it's a big movement and you don't want to get crushed under a leg press machine. That would fucking suck, man. Okay, RDLs. Romanian deadlift hits the hamstrings, hits the glutes. Again, I would encourage you to seek out the forums for RDLs. It's a little bit there's a technique to it. It's a little bit technical. You're sending the hips back. You want to keep the barbell nice and close to your shins. Slight, pardon me, slight bend in the knees. One thing that I will tell you, just get straps, okay? I'm a man who for a long time thought that lifting straps were basically cheating because, well, you're going to build up your grip strength anyway. And if it's too hard to lift, that means that your grip's not strong enough, and you need to get your grip stronger, which is a fair, I still stand by that in certain ways because lifting straps can certainly be overused. But for RDLs, for deadlifts and RDLs, they're pretty much essential if you want to progress in these movements. Like you will find, if you don't use the RDLs, you're going to plateau, and it's not going to be at the plateau is not going to be where your hips and your hips and glutes and hamstrings are failing you. It's where your grip's failing you. And hip thrust now, this is one that I definitely ignored for a long time, and I'm just really getting into hip thrust now. Um, these are very, very good for hitting your glutes and hamstrings, and something some of you young guys need to understand. You like ladies' asses, okay? Ladies like asses too. It's very attractive to get yourself a nice round bottom, a nice strong set of glutes. And hip thrust is a great way to do that. Again, I sound like a broken record, but just get comfortable with the form. Right. So you want to track progress, okay? So what I done was my laptop was actually resting on my stack of books, but under this laptop right now is the journal that I use for. I have multiple journals. The journal I'm using right now for weightlifting. So essentially, I record. So I put down the exercise, incline dumbbell press. How many sets did you do? How many reps did you do? What weight did you use? And the subjective. So what the subjective is a line or two. How did it feel? Yeah, how did it feel? Subjective experience. These are all objective things. These are things we can measure. The subjective is how did I feel when I was doing it. And that can actually that can educate your exercise selection. If you go weeks and weeks and the lat pull down doesn't feel good and you're reading back and it's like that felt like shit, that didn't feel good, I don't think I'm hitting my lats, that you'll be able to establish a pattern and say, okay, maybe this isn't working. So this is the most essential piece of gym equipment for the beginner. Closely followed by this little cap here. If you feel like you lack confidence in the gym, if you feel a little bit anxious, if you think people are looking at you, these are all things that I experienced. If you're maybe a little bit socially anxious or awkward and you don't really like making eye contact, this is a hack. Okay, this will get you in the gym. A little cap. Where's my cap? So I would be sitting on the bench and the mirror's in front of me, and I'd be sitting like some kind of anime fucking character, like really edgy, angsty teen. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No one can see my face, so there's a little bit of a shield. Like I can't lie, like you should be. If you, I don't think I needed a cap to go to the gym, but it gave me a little level of kind of people can't see me as much, or I can kind of lower my gaze and just focus on what I'm doing. So yeah, if you get yourself, all you need is a little journal, get yourself a nice cap, um, maybe a tank top or two, but that's probably down the line, and a gym membership, and you're laughing. Okay, so that's it, guys. Enjoy the journey. Okay, if you're just starting out in the gym, I'm honestly jealous of you because if you can stick at it and get consistent with the routine, apply the principles, and have fun with it and see the progress over time, you're going to love it. Okay, you're going to make so many leaps, not only in the physical realm of your development, but in terms of psychological benefits, in terms of well-being, in terms of confidence. You're going to meet guys in the gym. You're going to forge friendships. You're going to start to gamify your life when you can consistently apply principles in the realm of weightlifting. That will bleed into other areas of your life where you can start to gamify things and you can say, okay, so for me it was, I want to look good with my top off. How do I do that? Okay, bodybuilding. Okay, how do I bodybuild? Went from there. That can be applied in business. I'm lower level in business. I learn off other guys just as you're doing off me in business. But it's the same shit. It's the same, it's the same three things. It's the same. Identify what you want. Understand that other people have gotten what you want. It's not impossible. For some of you guys, you maybe see the pictures of me that I showed you at the front of my physique, and you think, no, that's not possible for me. Of course it is. Of course it is. So yeah, like business, like I want to make X amount of money. Understand it can be done. Understand the rules of the game and how you go forward. So that's it, guys. What I'd encourage you to do is any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'm hoping to bring you more guides like this soon in the future. Also, if this has encouraged you to start your gym journey, then beautiful. And please let me know and share your wins below. And yeah, that's me, guys. So peace.